Hello, I'm Adam Cherry and you're watching GB News. Today, we're looking into a story that's raising eyebrows across Britain, and that is the phenomenon of council staff working from exotic locations while taxpayers face rising bills and declining services. Now, imagine this. You're struggling to make ends meet, you're watching your council tax bill climb ever higher and higher, while the very people meant to serve your community and who take your tax dollars are answering emails from a beach in Barbados. It sounds like a joke, but it's the reality we're facing in this country today. Over the past 4 years, more than 2,000 council staff have been given the green light to work from abroad. That's right. While many of us were locked down or furloughed or simply trying to keep our heads above water, some council employees were literally packing their sunscreen along with their laptops. Now, in 2023 alone, 723 staff requests to work from abroad were approved. That's up from 708 in 2022 and 440 in 2021. This is getting worse. The trend shows absolutely no signs of slowing, with a further 226 requests already approved in the first few months of 2024. Now, you might be thinking, surely this is just a handful of councils. It's not a widespread issue. No, actually, this information obtained through Freedom of Information requests by the Taxpayers Alliance paints a picture of widespread practice. This is all over the place. It is endemic. So what exactly are these council staff jetting off to? Where are they going? What's this all about? Well, it seems that the Caribbean is a particular favourite. Can't imagine why, but Barbados, Jamaica, St. Lucia, it sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds like a fantastic holiday destination. No, apparently it's also a satellite office for UK councils. Take Islington Council, for instance. Labour-run council. It approved a staggering 330 trips since 2020. 330 in one council. But we're not just talking about numbers. It's about who's taking these trips. In Haringey, a senior employee earning over £77,000, I can't even get my words out, £77,000 a year was given the thumbs up to work from Jamaica. Now, last time I looked at a map, that's not a commutable distance from London, but there we go. If you thought a week or two in the sun was pushing it, a staff member from Wigan Council was allowed to work from France for 2 whole years. 2 years. Now, defenders of this practice might argue that it doesn't matter where people work as long as the job gets done. And maybe there's some merit in that argument. But according to the Office for National Statistics, public service productivity in the second quarter was 8.5% below pre-pandemic levels. So while council staff are globetrotting, guess what's happening back home? Your council tax, my council tax, is on the rise. In fact, we're looking at increases of up to 5% this April, which translates to over £100 added to the average bill. In fact, Matthew Pennycook, the housing minister, told the Commons that this increase was the right threshold given the pressures on council budgets. He went on to say that the government expects an extra £1.8 billion to be raised through council tax in 2025 and 2026. So council budgets are under pressure, which means tax hikes, yet there's apparently enough slack in the system for staff to work from tropical paradises. How does that work? I don't know. This isn't about begrudging hardworking people or, a bit of flexibility or a chance to see the world. We all want that, but we have to ask ourselves, is this really in the best interest of the communities these councils serve, the people who pay their salaries? We're talking about public servants here, paid by your taxes and mine. Their job is to serve the local community, is to be on the ground, understanding and addressing the needs of residents. So how effectively can that be done from a beach halfway across the world? I don't think it can, to be honest. And let's not forget, this is happening against a backdrop of serious financial struggles for many councils across the country. 6 local authorities have declared bankruptcy since the pandemic began almost 5 years ago. Yet somehow there's budget for these working holidays. So just as we wrap up here, I want to leave you with a couple of lingering questions. The first is, how does this practice align with the principles of public service? I think it's a pretty easy question to answer. What message does this send to the taxpayer, you and I, who are facing rising bills and stagnant wages? Is it time for a review of remote working policies in our public sector? Should we scrap the whole thing? How can we ensure that that flexibility for staff doesn't come at the cost of service quality for residents. I know they're complex issues and they deserve serious consideration, but one thing is abundantly clear here. In these challenging times, we need our public servants focused on serving the public. In fact, they should be doing that all the time. Now, research suggests that many people are drawn to public service careers because of a unique motivation. It's a desire to serve their communities and make a difference. But what happens to that motivation when you're working from a beach thousands of miles away? It does raise a few questions, doesn't it? Studies have shown that this public service motivation is influenced by interpersonal interactions, especially with those who benefit from the services employees are providing. So when remote work arrangements start to erode these instrumental relationships, it could have serious unintended consequences. Look, while remote work can offer benefits like improved job satisfaction and lower absenteeism, it's not without its obvious downsides. So some studies have found that remote work can increase stress and reduce engagement in certain circumstances. The reduction or even complete absence of interpersonal connections has been linked to feelings of a stronger feeling of isolation, not to mention the fact that it might seriously impact productivity. It's a big deal. In fact, one study of civil servants found no evidence that remote work fostered greater engagement. On the contrary, those who worked from home felt a stronger sense of being isolated from colleagues and disconnected from their work. It's going to influence their output. So as we navigate this new world of remote work, it's only been 5 years since this really became the fashion. It's crucial that we proceed with caution here, because we need to consider not just the short-term benefits, but the long-term impacts on our public services and the people who provide them and the people who pay for them, which is you and I. So with all the unknowns, we've got to tread carefully here. I'm sure human resources scholars and practitioners are still discovering how and when and for whom the benefits of remote work in the public sector will outweigh the costs. Like I said, it's a new industry. But as we face rising living costs, increased council tax bills, and continued pressure on public services, we need to hold our local authorities to account. It's really important. This has been Adam Cherry for GB News. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more originals content.
We are proud to stand for you, for the Britain that you love, and for the values that you believe in. We are your fearless champions, but we need your support. From just £5 a month, you can make sure that your views are always heard. GB News is the only news channel with the courage to say what the silent majority are really thinking. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Join thousands of members and become part of the GB News community today. Go to gbnews.com/support.